Good morning, folks, and welcome back to Wilderness Wargaming. Today we're going to go over the recently revealed Leviathan box set that's going to herald the new edition coming out. It's got some great stuff in it. It's going to be, unsurprisingly, Space Marines and Tyranids, which we knew for some time. That's going to be the marquee conflict for this edition. And it's got a pretty good mix of units, I think, for both armies in it, and seems to be getting a lot of very positive feedback. So let's dive right into it and see what this thing is like. So it's here, the moment you've been waiting for. It's time to open the lid on the jam-packed launch box for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 Leviathan. So we got a picture here. It looks like we've got a set of Space Marines, the new Dreadnought, the new Terminators. You've got a Captain, a Lieutenant, an Apothecary in there, and a Terminator Librarian. And it looks like a new infantry squad armed with flamers or combi flamers, perhaps, and something that is probably the Stern Guard. So let's have a look down here at these models. Okay, it's an absolutely gigantic box packed to the brim with miniatures, books, and more. When you lift the lid, you'll find stacks of sprues containing 2 armies full of gorgeous new miniatures. Beneath that, you'll find the massive Leviathan book, the chapter-approved Leviathan mission deck, and a construction booklet. Okay, I guess that means construction. The instructions to put the models together, not army construction. Let's see. 25 Space Marine miniatures, 47 Tyranid miniatures, exclusive Warhammer 40,000 Leviathan rulebook, mission deck, and the Space Marines transfer sheet. I'll take a closer look at each. The Space Marines are the Emperor's Angel of Death. Yeah, we know what Space Marines are, who have sworn an oath to protect the beleaguered Imperium from all assailants. As the jaws of Hive Fleet Leviathan close in on the Galactic West, they've got their work cut out for them and are deploying new units to combat the Tyranid threat. Okay, so we've got the Captain and Terminator armor. Well, as usual, it's just got to be Ultramarines. I'm not sure why, if they're in the Galactic West. The Ultramarines' home realm is way in the Galactic East in McRage. And I don't know why they would be the ones way out in the Galactic West. Yeah, there's no rule saying where the Space Marines have to operate, but there's supposedly 999 other chapters, approximately. It's supposed to be 1,000 Space Marine chapters. I don't know why it needs to be Ultramarines. Almost anyone else could probably be justified a little better given where their homeworld is. But that said, you obviously don't have to paint them yourself that way. The Terminator Captain here, the model is pretty great. I already have a Terminator Captain that I custom put together. That's because my army is Salamanders, and they have a relic Thunderhammer called Drake Smiter, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be gone in the new rules. It may be never to return, and I'm going to be very sad about that because Drake Smiter is, in my view, a very cool relic. But this guy, if I didn't already have a Terminator Captain, I would definitely like this one. It's a good-looking model. I like the fact that he's stomping on a dead Tyranid there that's apparently dissolved partly into goo or something like that. It's pretty cool. He's got a more expressive face. He's not just staring straight forward with the grim face. Lots of, looks like purity seals or something similar here. Yeah, I could get down with this guy. But, like I said, he's not a priority acquisition for me. Now, the next up, we have the Librarian and Terminator armor. Battle Psychers, the Space Marines, smiting foes with bolts of witchfire and manipulating the Imperium to shield their allies. In case of Terminator armor, one of the most durable Psychers available to Space Marine forces. Yeah, unfortunately, he got done kind of dirty in the video. They didn't really give him a chance to show off what he could do, because they were a little too quick to have him die to the Tyranid Psyker. But that said, the model is very cool. I really like the glowing runes all over it. That is a big improvement for a Librarian. I hope I'll be able to paint them myself with that level. And it's something approaching that level of skill. I'm certainly not a professional or a very skilled painter. I like the axe. The axe is awesome. This guy would definitely be very high on my list of things to acquire. I'm also very heartened by the fact that I'm quite sure that the force weapon now will be immaterial, whether it's a staff, axe, or sword. So you can just model what you want to model and not worry about needing to change it out because of statistical nitpickery. I don't know what this thing he's holding from his hand is. I'm kind of curious about what that actually is. Just some generic psychic thingamajigger, I guess. Not as exciting of a base, unfortunately, as the captain, but not bad. So let's see what else we got. Apothecary Biologis. Now, that's what I wonder if this is going to be a new apothecary model. And actually, you'll excuse me for just a second. I'm going to get my apothecary real quick. So you see here, I got my apothecary, and there's some differences, but it's very similar. They got the light and scanner thingamajig, I guess it is, on the right side of the backpack. The automated medical tools on the left side. I don't remember what those are called. Similar pistol, the Absolver bolt pistol. The robe on the existing one is full length, whereas this new guy has more of a skirt deal, or an apron, and I love that he has clippers and other, looks like medical tools in there, like you usually see an EMT carrying around. Much bigger container there. I'm not sure what he's carrying. My guy here, you'll see he in his right hand, he has a little container that I believe are progenoid glands he extracted from the dead salamander that he's unfortunately standing on. And I don't know what that new guy's carrying in that big old gallon jug of whoop ass he's got there or something. Yeah, that one's pretty good, but again, not a high priority acquisition for me. I don't need 2 apothecaries. I can't imagine on 9th edition. I certainly can't imagine trying to have 2 apothecaries running around. You can only make one a chief apothecary. It just doesn't seem worth it. Take enemy samples of biomatter with this Vivispectrum. I guess maybe the Vivispectrum is the big container there, or is it the thing up here at the top of the thing? One of those two things has got to be the Vivispectrum, I would imagine. He's got a little computer on his left arm too. Oh yeah, okay. Mine had something similar to that, which I should go back and pick out the details a little bit more on. I didn't do a very good job on that. Like I said, I am not a particularly skilled painter, so yeah. But yeah, it's good to notice. I'm going to go back and probably do that today. Actually, it won't take very long. This guy, yeah, he's yeah, that's a high quality model. And if I did not already own an apothecary, that would be a real win there. Okay, what else have we got? Lieutenant and Phobos combi weapon and 2 combat blades. I'm pretty sure there are. I know for a fact there's already a Lieutenant in Phobos armor. In fact, I own it because I bought that combat patrol that was mostly Phobos based, and also the only way you could get suppressors. And I have him. So this guy, probably the lowest priority of all of them. I have never used the Phobos Lieutenant yet. Don't know that I don't know I don't know when he's likely to see the table. I do like the new model though. I love the ichor dripping off the blade there. That is really cool. Got another blade stuck in probably what's left of some Tyranid, and apparently he had a damaged shoulder pauldron that he had to make a field repair on because he's got a piece of Tyranid strapped on top of it, which is pretty interesting. He's also got some pretty bad scars on his head. Grenades up here on the chest pack. That's very cool. And it's one of the Flamer combi weapons. Very similar to what we saw in the video. Sternguard Veteran Squad. 2 bolt guns. Looks like a combi plasma. A combi melta on the sergeant. And the heavy bolter over here for the heavy weapons guy. Now, currently, Sternguard can have 2 heavy weapons in their squad. And everybody can have a combi weapon. These guys, I like the models a lot, even on the current ones. I love the extra accoutrements on the pauldrons and the aprons or robes that they wear, mark of the veteran. I never can remember the helmet color coding very well for Ultramarines, and it doesn't help that a lot of times the senior guys are just not wearing their helmets. But yeah, these are very good. I love the drum magazine on the heavy bolter. That is very cool. The sergeant looks pretty awesome. That combi plasma is very interesting. It looks like it's got the plasma chamber, whatever, in between the bolt part of the gun and the plasma part. It's interesting. I'm curious to know what the combi weapons are going to be like in the new game. It's just all going to be aggregated into one, which I kind of could see that with Plasma and Melta. I just don't understand how that would work with Flame, because Flamers are completely different. I'm going to be curious to see how Sternguard options change in the future. Sternguard were, when I first started my Marine Army, I looked at them heavily and I concluded they were pretty much crap, especially for Salamanders. There was no reason to take them at all when you could take aggressors. And if you wanted Melta, which was the obvious thing to take, Eradicators. I just didn't see that they didn't do anything, and especially their cost was not good. But when the cost adjustments with Arcs of Omen came out, the Sternguard veteran squad has been pretty good since then. I've used the Melta squad. It's a very cheap way to get two more multi-Meltas on the table, along with 3 regular Melta guns. And yeah, it's become one that's really caught up in my estimation. All right, now the Terminators. Okay, so the Terminators are, I guess, a little bit bigger. I'm going to have to confirm on base sizes. I really hope I don't have to rebase 15 Terminators. No, I already have 15 Terminators. I have 10 Assault and 5 Standard. These ones I would not mind having. If I had the opportunity to pick them cheap, I would get them, or if they're going to be a new box set that looks like this, definitely. Especially to have the little teleport homer thing. That's great. That's really cool. Nothing here that's really too momentous, I don't think. It looks like the standard Terminator we've come to know and love. I do like the Power Fists on Terminators are no longer going to... I don't believe they're going to have the -1 anymore. But nothing too... The models themselves are all the excitement here. The changes in... There are no changes in war gear that I've seen so far. And we did look at the Terminator datasheet before, so we can be pretty confident that things might work differently, but it's the same Terminators we've always had. And these are just slightly bigger, but nothing really departing from what we're used to with Terminators. The Infernus squad. Okay, there are 10 models here. And let's see what we've got. Okay, these guys, when you're faced with innumerable hordes of Xenos, an Infernus squad is the perfect tool. Armed with pyroblasters that spit gouts of incandescent flame, they purge their foes with fiery wrath. This is, if you look very closely at the bottom left guy here, you will see there's a little igniter there. This is not a combi weapon. This is just a flamethrower. But I guess a pyroblaster. Maybe it's going to be more like the sisters have the Ecclesiarchy flamers. His name I can't specifically remember right now, but they have a +1 bonus to strength. I wonder if these are going to be higher strength or something like that, or if they're going to be better than just a standard flamer. I like them. I love the very long cover shield here over the flame unit. I like this guy with the grenade. That's very cool. Nice pose there. Little bit of a departure from all the standard Space Marine poses with him, and I like the Sergeant a lot. He's got his weapon slung. He's pulling out his combat blade. He's got a knife. That is very cool. I assume it's a combat blade. We'll have to wait and see what the data sheet looks like. But these guys are... Yeah, these guys, I like. These guys are very, very high priority for me. I would like these guys probably more than anything else in the box, being that I'm a Salamanders player. The only one that really competes with it is the Librarian. And then we have the Ballistus Dreadnought here. Okay, this thing... Well, this is fairly clearly yet another variation on the Redemptor, which is quite all right. There's nothing wrong with this. I like the Redemptor's a nice model. Got to get to that. Looks like we've got a missile launcher, 2 Stormbolters. I don't see the Icarus rocket pod on the top, and twin-linked las cannon. Now that is... This is a throwback to the 2nd edition regular Dreadnought when the Dark Angels version came out. That they made the missile launcher model and the twin las cannon. And that was one that was awesome. Everybody, oh my gosh, it's got the missile launcher and you had a bunch of different Dreadnoughts then. So you could actually, if you bought more than one, you could mix and match their weapons. Like you could put the assault cannon on with the missile launcher and then have maybe the power fist on with the twin las cannon. On this guy, this is very much a throwback to that Devastator type of Dreadnought from 2nd edition. So it's not going to be that great close combat, since all he can do is kick with his feet. Although I don't think you want to get kicked by this guy, but getting kicked by a house. I am hopeful that the missile launcher is a better weapon than in its current iteration. The missile launcher's ability to weapon to type swap has never been all it's cracked up to be. I'm hopeful that the missile launcher itself will be a better weapon, but the model is a very nice take. I like the throwback to 2nd edition. The Redemptor chassis looks fantastic all over. And this guy would probably be my third choice for the models I want out of the box. I'd say if I had to order them, I'd probably say the Librarian first, the Infernus squad the second, and this guy would be choice number 3. The other Marines, I wouldn't mind having them, but I really don't need them that badly, and space to store them might be a little bit of a premium. Can we read more about the Space Marine side of the box? Okay, here's some more pictures, more artwork on the Marines. No data sheet though. Oh, the new Apothecary was a scientist rather than a doctor. That's interesting. Filled without his Gravis. Oh, he's Gravis armored. How did I not notice that? He certainly is. Oh, his spectrum. He's okay. So he's analyzing the foe. Got it. Okay, this is a scientist apothecary. That's interesting. That very much makes him more appealing to me than the. And I might want. He might become number 4. Okay, I'll have to see what his stats are like. But that a Gravis armored scientist apothecary. That is something new. Okay. And let's go down here and look at the Tyranids now. Now, I'm going to confess before I get into this part, I do not know that much about Tyranids. They are not an army I am interested in owning or playing. If I did get the box set, I would be looking to get rid of the Tyranids very quickly to somebody who wants them. I would not mind playing against Tyranids, but I have no interest whatsoever in playing them myself. In fact, they are probably tied with their buddies, the Genestealer cult, for my absolute last choice for an army I would want to play. I'm just not into the alien bug race thing. It's just not my thing. But playing against them would be absolutely fine. No disrespect to anybody who does like them. It's just not the one I would pick. And since I don't have room or money for them anyhow, no problem. Okay, the Winged Tyranid Hideous Alpha Beast that combines strength with agility, swooping above the battlefield. Targets if terror parts. So he's going to be a flyer. Obviously got wings. I guess this is their captain monster. This is something new, different from a Hive Tyrant, I guess. I do know that Hive Tyrants are the leader model. Neuro Tyrant. This is obviously a Psyker. So Shadow in the Warp site with blocks warp. Yes, that's one of the things in the lore. If you're not already tracking it, part of what makes the Tyranids so dangerous is that they throw out the shadow in the warp around their hive fleet. So what happens is your communication through the warp with the astropaths tends to get cut off before you can call for help, and it's very hard to get advanced warning of a Tyranid attack. During invasions, the Neurotyrant acts as a foe. Now, you'd think that they'd have learned by now, though, that when a world suddenly goes silent on the astropaths, that, oh my gosh, it might be Tyranids. But the problem with that is that warp communication is already kind of unreliable. Okay. During invasions, as a focusing for this power, look to find the minds of its prey. It orchestrates hordes of Tyranids to victory. Okay. So, I wonder if this is going to be like some kind of anti-psyker. Pretty sure this is what killed the Librarian in the video. Screamer killers. These things I think have been around for a long time. Carnifex. Okay, it's a Carnifex variant. It comes in many shapes and sizes, but the Screamer killer is the most famous adaptation, the biggest. Named after the sinister howl emits as they unleash their bioplasma blast, Screamer stoppable shock creatures. This thing doesn't look like it, but it has some kind of shooting attack with bioplasma. Bioplasma is something Tyranids do, and my understanding, it's kind of similar to what the bugs shot out in the Starship Troopers movie when they belch in the plasma up into space out of their behinds. That, yeah, I guess it's Tyranids do the same thing. This is a very different take on the Carnifex. I'm so used to that. I always picture the 2nd edition model. The Carnifex was, back then, the thing was just a horrendous pain to deal with. People, they're used to, that's where the distraction Carnifex came from. It was hard to kill, and people would just throw it up in the center, and you'd focus fire on it, finally it'd die, and meanwhile the rest of the army had just marched up on you. Von Ryan's Leapers. Vanguard Organization. Okay, I guess Von Ryan must be the guy who discovered these or something like that. Fed themselves much damage as possible. Okay, so these are some kind of stealth unit, ambush unit, and they look like it, man. Those talon things that stick up, those are scary looking. I guess they're going to be a stealth unit of some kind. That's all I can figure about them. No doubt melee. I mean, the idea of a non-melee Tyranid army is kind of funny, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. These are big too. They look like they're about the size of Custodies, and the squad size of 3. So I would imagine that they're going to be generally pretty comparable to a Custodian of some sort. Termagants, and we got a whole bunch of them here. These are basically the troops guys for the Tyranids. I do know that. I remember them. Yeah, they're where you get your horde from. They can be shooters. I don't know if they can be melee or not. They have this weird Tyranid rifle that they carry. And they're mean. They're real mean. I wonder. I don't know what's up with this. It looks like you got 3 or 4 of them there on one base. That's wild. Oh, there's one there too. Huh. I wonder what that's about. That makes me very curious. That looks different from these other models. I wonder what these guys are going to be like. We did see their data sheet, recall enough. I don't recall them being anything that would be these. Oh, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I'm not a Tyranids player, so it's hard for me to guess. But I do like those. They're kind of cool looking. Neurogaunts. Neurogaunts are a variant strain of Gaunt. These share a symbiotic relationship with the parasitic neurocytes that cling to their back. That must be the purple thing. Primary purpose is to protect the powerful synapse creatures that coordinate the Tyranid invasion. They will sacrifice droves. So their job is to, I guess, to body block for the big guys up here. Probably the Neurotyrant and the Tyranid Prime. I don't know if this guy will be a synapse creature. Probably would be, I would think. So they're bodyguards. That's pretty interesting. Okay. They look like a melee kind of thing, but you never can tell with Tyranids. And what do we got? Barbgaunts. What is this? Okay, a strange fusion of Gaunt Biocannon and Ganglioparasite that enslaves the two. Barbgaunts are a living ordnance that showers target with projectiles that sure to check. Oh, okay, so they're a heavy weapons type, it sounds like. They launch some kind of chitin projectile that then bursts like a frag weapon. That's interesting. This is kind of a weird concept to me, but it's a very different model. It doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. I guess that launches out of the front of that red part there. Yeah. Okay. Psychophage. Another psyker thing. Hive mind abuse this particular with a hunger for enemy psychers. Its digestive tract somehow able to metabolize psychic life forms into psycho-corrosive ash where it projects forward and blistering torrents. Well, that doesn't sound good at all. I guess that's what's coming out of these tubes on its back. So it goes after psychers. That's pretty interesting. I'm not sure. It sounds like both of the Neurotyrant and this guy are both very anti-psych. Their psychers are primarily focused on dealing with enemy psychers. Tyranid side of the box here. Let's take a look. Other new pictures. Okay, there's their Hive Tyrant. Oh, we have a data sheet here. What's the Screamer Killer's data sheet? Okay. Bioplasm Assault Blast. Okay, so he can advance and shoot. D6 plus 3 shots. It's not auto hitting. Ballistic skill 4 up. Okay, so he's not a particularly good shot. Strength 8. AP minus 2, damage 1. Okay. That's going to be pretty ferocious anti-infantry. But given what changes we've seen, not the best against vehicles. Storyteller Towns melee. It's 10 attacks. Weapon skill 3 up, so he's better in melee for sure. Strength 10, AP minus 2, damage 3. That's rough. That's core. Deadly Demise 1. I don't know quite what Deadly Demise does. Okay, he is a synapse creature, so that question's answered. She has battle shot text -1. Okay. Okay, so he inflicts, it sounds like. All he has to do is hit with the shot. He is D6 plus 3 shots, and all he has to do is get one hit, and he imposes battle shock at -1. That sounds like it might be very dangerous. Keywords: monster, great devourer, screamer killer. Okay. Interested to learn what these mean. Original metal, Carnifex model in 1992. Oh, that was out before I was even graduated from high school. Its 4 huge arms ending in brutal talons make it an absolute menace. Perfect counter to hard as nails Terminators. Yeah, this thing could be a real trouble. Although that assault cannon that does mortals. What's he like? Oh, wait, I forgot to look at his stats. Okay, moves 8. That's pretty good. Toughness 9. Okay. So comparable to a rhino. Save 2 up. Okay. 10 wounds. 8 plus. So higher is better. His leadership is actually not that great, because that's above the middle of the bell curve now. And objective secured 3. Okay, so he's pretty susceptible to battle shock as well. If you can put 5 wounds on him with the 8 plus leadership, yeah, he's going to have a higher... His rolling higher is now better with leadership. So, okay. Yeah, an 8 up is not reliable. What do we got? The Neuro Tyrant? Okay, no data sheet for that guy. The Gaunts down here. Tyranid Prime. Oh, Neurogaunt serve as critical relays and bodyguards for Oh, so these guys are actually synapse creatures. They're not just bodyguards. Very interesting. Tyranids player, if you want to correct me on anything that I'm saying wrong about the synapses and how the Tyranids work, please do. Like I said, I don't play them, so if I'm making some mistake, please let me know in the comments. I wonder if this is some kind of counter psyker deal, I guess. It seems like. Okay, the Tyranid Prime is evolved into the Tyranid Warrior. Okay. Right. Whoever this unfortunate Von Ryan was is a truly horrifying creature named after him. I would love to know who Von Ryan was. The fact that people are aware he existed, though, indicates that maybe he was an Inquisitor or something like that who discovered them. Or maybe there is maybe he's one of the scientist apothecaries that, and there is a chapter out there that has people with a name like Von Ryan. A lot of the Black Templar names are kind of German, so I guess maybe them. I don't know. That's wild speculation. Termagants. Because we played 20 and they still come in. Oh, the Ripper Swarm. That's what those other little guys are. Okay. I don't know what the Ripper Swarm does off the top of my head, but I guess it's a feature of the Termagant. Artillery Organism. Hive Garden Biovores. The gobbles of enemies is a raising psychoclastic torrent. Their favorite food is psychers, and the massive whipping tentacles around their gaping maw and strip the mind from the warp incline before they can lift their magic book, staff, orb in defense. The creature's massive bulk and terrified fang maw harkens back to the Haruspecs. I don't know what that is, but the psychophage has a much more selective diet in mind. Maybe that's a more generalist version. Yeah, okay. All right, well, good look there. Okay, what else is in the box? Big book. I want the book. I love these big hardback books. People fuss all the time about it, the cost of them and stuff like that, but I do love my hardbound books. I might try to pick one up secondhand. Okay, on top of that, you'll get the core rules, specially designed missions for the new combat patrol game format. You'll get a full complement of Crusade rules to get your narrative campaigns, and a full Crusade expansion that delves into the story of the Fourth Tyrannic War series of limited linked campaign games. What about the missions? There's 66 group deck in a box, which combines the best match play options for previous editions, which is designed to provide the best and most flexible mission experience for everyone, from the most casual players up to the most competitive. Decals for the unsurprisingly, there's no decals for the Tyranids. And the decals are going to be for Ultramarines, guaranteed. Leviathan tie-in novel. Yeah, it's got to be the dang Ultramarines. You know, some other people have their beefs with other armies and stuff. My beef is with the Ultramarines. It's really with just their spotlight hogging. Warhammer 40,000 roadmap. What is this? Burst pace of new releases. Summer 2023. Core book Tyranid. Oh, it's going to be in summer. Autumn, so probably starting about September, we're going to get Codex Tyranids, Codex Space Marines. I wonder, is it the same artwork that's on the current one? I wonder if we're going to get new artwork or it's going to be the same one. Maybe they just don't want to reveal it yet. Mechanicus and Necrons then, and then after that, Dark Angels, Orcs, Custodes, Tau Empire, Chaos Marines. Okay, so my Eldari are going to be waiting some time. Okay, there's been some talk about what the codexes are. Is it going to be the same? Like as soon as you get your codex, you get all kind of new rules and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I do think that the codex is going to be more detailed. Maybe give more options for different armies. But I think that the World Eaters Codex is more of a clue of what's going to come. They're going to be smaller, slimmer, and not be as chock full of relics and warlord traits and stratagem after stratagem after stratagem, most of which do not get used. I think you're going to have much more limited selection so that it's not just data overload with the new codexes. But this is, I like this. So by the time it's a year old, we're going to have 9 codexes out, looks like. I would like them to be a little bit more brisk. I would like to see this number 5 over here. And I would like to see 5 more over here. So I'd like this to be even more brisk than it is. But that's other than that, I'm not too displeased with it. I don't think the codexes are going to be the problem that some people have suggested. I do think that they're like some people said, oh, there aren't going to be codexes. You're going to have all the rules. No, it was the people who predicted, yeah, there are always going to be codexes. Games Workshop is always going to want to sell them. Yes, that's right. And you know what? For some of us, yes, they're an expense, and yes, it sucks when your expensive book gets obsoleted. But it is also great to have a collection of these books because Warhammer 40,000 hardback books are really, in my view, a very good product. They're always well put together. They look nice. The lore is great. The artwork is fantastic. Just like the models are very expensive, but they look great, especially the newer ones. They've gotten better and better over the years at designing models. Well, thanks for watching, folks. If you have any views or anything that important that I've missed or mistakes that I've made in evaluating this, please let me know down below, particularly Tyranid players. I invite you to educate me if I've made any mistakes on your favorite faction. Like I said, I don't know very much about it, and it's always great to learn something new about an army that I may end up facing someday. So please, by all means, leave a comment down below. If you don't have anything else, leave a pound Valkyrie for our dog. She'd love it. And make sure that you click the notifications bell for more great content from Wilderness Wargaming, and I will see you very soon.